Dear Joe, you can call me Cheryl, and I would just like to ask you to please help me out with my problem. At this point in time, I know I really need an expert advice in my situation. Joe, I had a boyfriend named Sherwin. We've been together for 4 years, but we ended up parting ways because he had to work abroad. We chat and email each other to fight off our longing for each other. We had to because I also didn't want to interfere too much with his work. Joe, he was undeniably sweet and thoughtful. It seemed like he was everything I've ever wanted in a guy. I felt so lucky for having him in my life. How I wish it could have at least lasted. But it didn't. One day he told me that we could only chat in the evenings. Well, I understood that, because he also told me that there was something wrong with their internet server, making their connection almost impossible. Although it meant putting a limit to our chatting hours, I just tried hard to understand everything he said. Beggars can't be choosers, so they say. Little did I know that he was actually starting to fool me. One night, someone called me on my cell phone. It was late at night, Joe, but having answered the call, I suddenly found myself wide awake. The girl on the other end of the line was calling me, and she was asking me questions. And this was a long-distance call. In effect, she was interviewing me about how and when I met my boyfriend. She had lots of questions for me, which I found really hard to understand, partly because I didn't even know who was at the other end of the line. That was when she told me that she was my boyfriend's workmate, and that she needed my email address badly. The way she said it, I knew that I just couldn't argue with her. So I gave her my email address. Joe, the next day I asked my boyfriend if she knew the girl who called me. He said she was his friend. I believed him. But suddenly my world turned upside down when, after opening my email, I found this letter from that girl who called me. Dear Cheryl, how are you? I'm really sorry to disturb you last night. I know it's quite late. I have something to tell you, but I don't know how to begin. Still, I know I have to tell you this. I know you love Sherwin so much. I admire you, because even though you're far from him, your feelings for him doesn't change. It is not easy to be apart from the one you love. I know that. But have you ever doubted his feelings for you? Okay, I will be straightforward. Sherwin is cheating on you. I should know about that, Cheryl. We're workmates. He's my friend too, but I really hate guys who cheat. I know who his girlfriend here is. And you know what's really shocking? They're close to celebrating their 2nd-year anniversary. I had to call you, Cheryl. My conscience is speaking for me. I want to know more about your details because I didn't really know for sure if you really existed or not. But I had the chance to talk to you. You're not cheating on him because you're waiting for him, right? That should be reason enough for him not to cheat on you. You know what he asked me? He asked me if I could think of a way for him to break up with you without hurting you too much. I can't believe he'd say something like that. I'm really sorry, but I just had to tell you this. Just don't tell Sherwin I've told you everything. God bless you, and I hope you will work it all out. Lane. Joe, just imagine my shock upon reading the email. I talked to Sherwin at once, and I asked him if it was really true that he was having a relationship with another girl. Sherwin told me that it was all true, and I was really hurt, Joe, because I have been so loyal to him, and all the while I didn't know that he was cheating on me. I told him that we should settle this at once, but he told me that he needed time to think about it. He told me that he loved me, but he also loved the other girl. He was caught in the middle, so to speak. If he really loved me, Joe, I know he wouldn't think twice about it, but he was firm that he needed time and space. That was when I realized that he really loved the other girl. Joe, The truth is, I can't even bear just the thought of losing him. I love Sherwin so much, and I have been praying at the end it would still be the two of us together. I'm still praying that he would still choose me over the other girl. Joe, am I this desperate? Or is it high time that I let go of Sherwin? Please help me. Thank you so much, Joe, for your time. And God bless your program always. Sincerely, Cheryl. Cheryl, the only time that I realized what love was truly all about was when I had the courage to let go of someone who meant so much to me, even if it was the most difficult and painful thing I had to do. I have always believed that if she was meant for me, she would come back and we'll be together again. If she doesn't, then I would just accept the fact that we were probably never meant for each other. It is often difficult for a man to break up with a woman because there is really no easy way to say it's over. No matter how valid or invalid our reasons may be, the pain losing someone brings will always be there to remind us that love gives no guarantee of permanence. More so in long-distance relationships, where technology will not always be enough to bridge the gap of time and distance that separates two people in love. Sherwin loved you, but he didn't love you enough to be able to stop himself from falling for another girl. He is obviously confused, and he asked for time because he wants to weigh his options. This may or may not turn out to be a happy ending, but whatever the outcome is, you should be proud because you never cheated on him. You should be thankful because she learned the truth early and he didn't deny it. I know, Cheryl, that this should just be another day in the life of a relationship that we should just forget and let go of. But I also know that it is not as easy as it sounds. We just can take someone we have loved out of our system and move on as if nothing had happened. Sometimes love ends when the person we share it with stops fighting for us. It always takes two to make a relationship work. If Sherwin has given up on you, then you just have to set him free and let him find his own happiness. Let it also be the opportunity for you to find your own. You deserve to be happy, even if it means having to be apart from him. Let us always remember that love doesn't have to stop where relationships end. Love only stops when we refuse to believe that when we are betrayed, there will always be someone else who will choose to be faithful to us, even in the midst of temptation. Someone who will never let time nor distance take away the love that we treasure and keep in our hearts.